Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to batch render in Arnold. Okay, so let's assume that you already put a light and a texture for the scene, and you also finished with your animation. So as you can see, I have these props already loaded, and if I play the animation, it looks like this. Okay, so the animation goes from frame number 1 until frame number 24. Now, if I do a test render, I have something like this. Okay, so it's just a castle walking. Now, before we do and proceed with the batch render, there are some settings that we have to do. Okay, so if you go to the render settings, okay, so this is my setting look like. Okay, so the first one, right, is going to be a file name prefix. Okay, this is going to be your output name. So for example, if I change this to something else, you can see like this is update to whatever you type here. Okay, so you want to have something more meaningful. So in this example, it probably be like castle and underscore. Okay, you press enter and it will update. Now, the file format can also change to JPEG, right, or PNG or whatever. But in this case, I'm just going to use JPEG. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to change the frame or animation extension. I think by default it was a single frame, right? That's why like every time you do a batch render, it will result in a single frame. Okay, so we have to change this from single frame to that one. Okay, so if I change this extension, you'll notice that the file name convention will also change according to what you choose. Okay, so in this case, it will be like a castle underscore and underscore and the frame number. Okay, so if you don't want, you can change. So it's like the file name and underscore because you already put the underscore there. Okay, it's up to you. But I choose the one with the extension at the back like this. Okay, now the next thing that we gonna set is that the start frame. So in this case, the animation goes from frame 1 and all the way to frame 24. So we have to type this as 1 and the end frame is equal to 24. Okay, so if your animation have like 50 frame, you can type this to 50, but in this case, I'm just gonna type this to 24. Now, by frame mean like Maya will render this according to this number, which is 1, so it will render 1, then the second one, which is frame 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, right? So it will goes the frame by the multiple of 1. So if I change this by 2, right, it will render like the first frame, the second one, the fourth one, the sixth one, the 8th and 10th, and so on, right? And if I change this to 3, it will only render the third one and jump. Okay, 1, 3, 6. Okay, so what we want right now is set this to 1, right? So it will render like 1 by 1. That's what it means. Okay, now in this particular example, I have like 2 camera. One is the perspective, and the other one is called like perspective 1. Okay, now depending on what you need, you may want to set this correctly. Okay, in this case, I'm going to use perspective 1, so it kind of match with what I'm having here, right? So set these to perspective 1. Now, the next bit is you have to change this according to the assignment spec. I think the assignment set was 720, or it could be that one, right? But in this particular example, I'm just going to use a lower res preset, so it's faster to render. Okay, and don't forget to increase the sample, right? But again, in this example, I'm just going to use like a low res, so resulting a faster render. Okay, to make sure everything is set correctly. Okay, and once you're happy with the settings, you can go to the render view, which is that one, and then you choose render and then render sequence. So what it means that it will render the whole sequence from the first frame until the end of the frame. right? So you click that one. Okay, it will ask you again like which camera and all the other like settings. Okay, in this case, I'm just gonna use whatever setting I have in here. So I'm gonna save the file in in this folder, right under the image folder. Okay, so I'm not gonna put anything here, and just click render sequence, and we'll just wait for it. Okay, so as you can see, Arnold, it's rendering each frame one by one from the first frame until the end of the frame. Now, if you notice in your image folder, there will be like increment file, right? Like starting from frame 1 and all the way to 3, 4, 5, all the way until frame 24. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video now and continue later. Now that I have like finished rendered, okay, we're gonna open this in After Effects to composite it. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to After Effects and I'm going to put the result that we did in Arnold here. Okay, so we go to File, right, and we're gonna import multiple file. Okay, and I'm going to my D drive. Okay, and I click the first one. Now, it says here, right, as an option, as a sequence. So you have to tick this importer JPEG sequence. If you forget to tick, it will only import the first file. Okay, so if you tick this, it will load the file as a sequence, okay, from frame 1 all the way to frame 24. Okay, and you just click import. Okay, and okay, I'm going to make a new composition. Press OK, and I'm going to put. Okay, so let's delete this one, and rather I'm going to drag this there. Okay, so it will create the composition according to image that I have. Okay, and then double click the composition setting. Okay, so it's using the same resolution that I have as a picture. I can zoom in. Okay, and if I press 0, so it will load my whole animation. Okay, so it's very low quality, but we're just going to use this as a sample. Okay, now that you finish with this, we're going to save this project as right. Maybe my castle. Then we're gonna convert this using media encoder. Okay, so this is my media encoder, and I'm gonna open up my project, source, D drive. Okay, and this is where I save my After Effects project folder. Project. Open up, right, and it will show me the name for the composition. Castle. Okay, right, and we're gonna convert this using this compression, which is H.264, and the result will be MP4. So all you have to do, just press play, right, and it will convert the composition that you had in After Effects and will become the movie file, which is .mp4. Okay, and if I go to my folder, right, this will be the result. Okay, so that's how you do it in After Effects and Media Encoder.